This is one of 2 instructional videos for the Fall Art Box from the Ohio Craft Museum. And in this video, I am going to show you how to make this cute little sock sugar skull. Traditionally, these little sugar skulls are made out of sugar and brightly colored, very festive. And they are part of the Day of the Dead, or Dia de Muertos, which is a Mexican Latin American holiday associated with the Catholic celebration of All Saints' Day. And it's a celebration honoring and remembering loved ones who have passed away. And it's a very festive, happy time. So I'm going to lead you through this project so that we can make this cute little sugar skull. All right, let's look at the items in our kit. So what you should have in your kit is a white sock, a bag of white rice, about 1/2 cup is in there, googly eyes, a variety of different colors of felt, a pipe cleaner, a small pom-pom, and then what you have is a chunk of yarn here with a little tiny piece of cardboard, and this is going to serve as our little pattern, a little guide to make this, your own pom-pom. What you're going to need besides some glue or maybe a glue gun is you might need a glass of some type to make it a little easier to get the rice into your sock. Okay, one other thing I forgot to mention is that you have a big chunk of polyfill. It's just something, you know, they fill pillows and things with, and you may or may not need all of this. It just depends on how solidly you stuff the sock. So you're going to start with taking this sock and kind of putting it in your glass and just wrapping the edge of the sock around your glass. That'll kind of keep your sock open. You go open this rice. If you just open it part way, it shouldn't spill out anywhere but into your sock. And the reason we're using rice is to give the base of the sock kind of a nice solid bottom to it, so it'll stand up on its own and won't fall over, okay? And then I would grab some of this polyfill right away and stuff it into your sock. And then you can take it out of your glass and move that out of the way and continue stuffing this in the sock. Just kind of pack it in there. Like I said, you might not need it all. We're not going to fill the entire sock because, well, we just don't need to. And, you know, we want to keep this kind of a skull shape too, so skulls typically are a little fatter at the top and a little bit more narrow, like where your chin would be, the chin. So I'm thinking of something like that is probably going to be good. Okay, so once I've got that kind of stuffed where I want, I'm just going to kind of push that down, and I can reshape this once I get this closed up. Okay, and also in your kit is a rubber band. You kind of just want to gather it at the top here, and if you need help from an adult with this, I'd say, you know, ask for it. But what you're going to do is just keep twisting and bringing this top portion of the sock through your rubber band until you get that pretty tight on there. Okay, so something like that. And you're wondering, what the heck, you know, am I going to do with this? Well, you're going to get some scissors, and you can do that right now. With your scissors, you can just cut this off at the top. You won't need this part. This is kind of the heel part of the sock. All right, so that's what you got. Now, we're going to decorate the top of this, so you're not going to see this because we're going to put a couple pom-poms and wrap this with a little pipe cleaner and things. So that will kind of be the decorative piece up there. Okay, so we're going to grab our felt, and just depending on what colors you're into, there's several colors here in black. And you also have a sheet in your art box that is a little sampling of different designs. You could go, what direction you want to go into. You can also Google this, obviously, and take a look online at different designs there are out there. Typically, you will see like a little upside down heart shape for the nose. You know, maybe there's kind of a floral pattern going on for eyes, and you know, just little swirly things and stuff like that. Typically, you're not going to be cutting out all these with felt, but this just gives you an idea of a few design possibilities. Okay, that's why that's in there for you. And I have cut out already some little flowers for eyes, and a heart shape for the nose, like upside down. And typically on these sugar skulls, you'll see these kind of funny little teeth that they cut out. I just kind of took a long rectangular piece of felt, and then, you know, using scissors, I just kind of made little slits and then rounded off those edges. And I can certainly show you a few things and how to do that, the little tips on how to do that. Also, with the black, I thought it might be fun to maybe just do, I know I see a lot of these little teardrop shapes, and I thought, maybe I'll just do a few of those and place them maybe around the top or something, or just decorate them somewhere. And so just be creative about it. Let me show you too how I did this flower. So when I do a flower, I am going to cut, and again, you've only got so much felt here, which you should have more than enough. But you know, typically you want to cut toward the edge. Maybe you want to draw your design out on your piece of felt with a ballpoint pen, or you know, something like that, and then you can cut out on the lines. But you can take a square of this felt and you can turn it into a rough circle, or maybe you find a little circle in the house of a little tiny, you know, lid to something, or a cup or something, and you can trace a circle down on your felt. And then I'm just making little slits I'm not quite going to the middle, because if I did, these would all just like fall off. But I am doing these little slits like that all the way around. These become my petals, and then I just kind of take that and round those little edges off of there like that. Okay, until I get something like that. That's kind of how I did that. So if you didn't want to trace down a design, you could do that. Same thing, I'm sure you know this technique to make a heart. Take a piece of your felt, fold it in half, and you might need a decent pair of scissors to cut through 2 layers. And if you don't have that and you're going to have to trace, you can just trace down with a pencil or ballpoint pen or something your heart shape, you know, and then you get your heart shape like that. So those are a few techniques on ways to design your face on your sugar skull. So be creative and go to it and see what you come up with. All right, so here's my design for my face. I haven't attached it yet. I like to kind of lay it out, make sure I like it. And once I glue this on to the sock, I might add more stuff. So you just kind of play it by ear and see what you like. If you notice, the googly eyes are sticky on the back, so those stick really easily right to the felt. All right, I'm going to show you how to make a pom-pom. They might look like kind of confusing, but they're pretty simple to make. If you notice, this piece of cardboard that you have has a little slit in there. I am going to take some of this yarn. I'm going to take about maybe a 6, 7, 8-inch piece, and I am going to find the center of this yarn just by folding it in half. You don't have to be real exact on this. It's and you're going to stick your yarn, if you can see, that I've just stuck my yarn through that slit at its halfway point, okay? And then you kind of hold, this is going to serve as your piece of yarn that's going to wrap and tighten around all the yarns that you wrap around here. That'll make more sense in just a moment. But I am going to now take the remaining of this yarn, and 50 times I am going to wrap on this part. You see there's a little black line here. I'm going to hold it here with my hand, but the majority, all the wrapping I do, I'm going to try to keep it in this little section on this cardboard. So let's do that. All right, that was almost literally 50 times that I wrapped around there, okay? So now you've got that, looks like that. You're going to take those two pieces that you first anchored into that slit, and again, for some of those that are young and maybe knot tying is a little challenging right now, I would ask for some extra hands in doing this part. So you're going to grab those two little ends, and I'm going to show you. You're gonna wrap it around once, you know, as you make a little start with a knot, and then you're gonna wrap it around twice. I hope that makes sense. Instead of just wrapping it once, you're gonna do it twice. What that does is when you go to pull this yarn, if you've got it wrapped around twice, this isn't going to keep slipping. You know how sometimes you're wrapping a gift and you tie it and then you ask somebody to put their finger on that so it won't slip, so you can keep the knot nice and tight? Well, if you just loop it twice instead of once, and then you pull on your ribbon, or in this case our yarn, you get this really secure knot, okay? Now I'm pulling pretty tightly. I don't think the yarn will break, but I want to be careful of that, so you want to really tighten that. And after you do that first knot, you're going to take it off your cardboard, and then you're just going to tighten it even more, and then you're going to do that again. You're going to go once, twice, and then tie it real secure, okay? Now, important thing, you want to keep these little tails that you just tied kind of in your hand. You don't want to cut those. But what you're going to do with scissors is you're going to cut all these loops. And if you have to cut a little bit at a time because your scissors aren't super sharp, then you can do that. But, and just want to make sure you get all your loops cut. Okay, I think I got them all. You're going to flip that over, and you're going to cut the loops on this side. Remember, I've got those two, I'm calling them tails, but those two pieces that I cut, that I tied around in my hand so I don't cut those. Why that's important is because we're going to use those two pieces to tie it around this rubber band at the top, okay? Now you might want to do this in a different spot, but I am going to trim these up to make this look. You can see it's, I don't know, it's kind of longer here, and I've got to form this into a little ball, so I'm going to do that next. I'm going to trim that up with my scissors. So as as you can see, it really makes a nice little pom-pom. And two things that are really important when making pom-poms is that you want to make sure you use enough yarn, and you want to make sure you really securely tighten that that piece of yarn, you know, that we lay down first, and make sure it's nice and tight, because if you don't get it nice and tight, all these pieces of yarn will start coming out of there. So that is the secret to that, okay? And now we can tie this around the top of our sock. And I'm just gonna do 2 knots like that to kind of secure it on there. Okay, so it kind of looks cool like that. You also have a pipe cleaner, and you have a pom-pom. If you notice, this pom-pom has like a little plastic, it's called a pom-pom bead. So you can kind of loop it right there on, push it onto your pipe cleaner. I'm going to attach this also around the top there by the rubber band, but to do that, I'm just going to kind of slide it under there and then twist that twice, and just kind of bring this out to the front, okay? So now these 2 pieces that are sticking out, if you want to grab a pencil or, you know, something to wrap these around, you can then make a really nice, let me grab a pencil real quick. So I have a pencil, and if I want to make like a little curly Q, I can just wrap this really tight around this pencil, and I can make this cute little spring kind of thing. And do the same thing with this one. Wrap it around, pencil. And then I kind of, you know, just loosen that up a little bit. And I don't know, just kind of festive and fun little decoration that can maybe in the back kind of hide some of that. So there you go. You've got the top of it decorated. And then, you know, with a hot glue gun or with some glue, you're going to lay all your felt pieces that you cut out on your sock and then glue them down. Like I said, I like to decide, like, you know, do I need to move this down a little bit? Yeah, I feel like I should. And then I can put some of these little shapes here by the eyes, and you know, I might want to cut more, but I'm going to get those all glued down, and you can go get yours all glued down and see what happens. I'll show you in a few minutes what I come up with.